of the Manipal University, Jaipur. And during this, even the challenging situation, the pandemic year, this club has organized more than 60 events. And in those events, more than 10,000 participants from worldwide has participated in various kind of events. And this mock trial advocacy is the first ever step which has been taken by the Lex Logical Club and the School of Law with the joint effort of Directorate of Social Welfare Department. So, sir, with all these words, I uh, welcome, sir, and I want to invite Professor Andy Mathu, sir, for give us blessings and some guidance. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir, for your kind words.
Justice Sandeep Mehta Sahab, G.L. Gupta Sahab, our Dean, Professor Anand Sharma Sahab, and the Pro-President, sir, Director, Faculty of Law, Vijay Lakshmi Madam, and Mr. Amit Yadav, who is coordinating the activity of the Lex Logical Club. I'm really happy that this club, which is very vibrant and active club of Faculty of Law, when I was director of the student welfare, this club was established. And I am really happy that the club has matured now and doing 60 activities and events in a year with 10,000 participants. This is really commendable. I remember when this club was being opened and when the proposal came to me, there were many apprehensions that what will be the objectives and what will be the rationale of this club. But this club has matured now. It has become an adult and doing so many activities, vibrant activities, and associating with social concerns and social welfare department. I'm really happy that Lex Logical Club, under the guidance of Mr. Amit Yadav and leadership of Vijay Lakshmi Madam, it is flourishing like anything. And I'm extremely thankful to our leadership of Manipal University that the systems are working here and systems are automatically working. Nobody has to intervene in this. And our students are so vibrant that they have given vibrancy to every activity. And more participants and outsiders, they associate with this. Even yesterday I was seeing this, and today morning also I saw the finals. And how people are associating and joining these activities, this is really commendable. So I give my good wishes to the program. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for your kind words, sir. Now, without any further ado, I feel honored and privileged to call upon Professor Dr. Vijay Lakshmi Sharma ma'am, Director of School of Law, Manipal University, Jaipur. She has a rich and versatile teaching experience of over 17 years.
Thank you.
During her illustrious career, she has efficiently and diligently shouldered administrative and student welfare assignments and has donned multiple caps of different hierarchy within the university effortlessly. She gives all the students the strength to take the next step towards their career, and this event wouldn't have been successful without her. So, welcome, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Mansi. Thank you. First of all, I would like to welcome one and all who are present here on this platform on behalf of the School of Law, Manipal University, Jaipur. I welcome our chief guest for this valedictory session, Honorable Justice Mr. Sandeep Mehta ji, Judge, Rajasthan High Court, Jodhpur. Honorable Justice is also serving as the chairman of Rajasthan State Legal Service Authority in Jodhpur. Sir has practiced in trial courts, high courts, and Supreme Court as well. Sir was also counsel for the commission in 3 judicial inquiry commissions headed by the retired as well as the sitting judges, honorable judges of high courts. Sir was also served as a member of Bar Council of Rajasthan from 2003 to 2009. And Sir was also vice chairman of Bar Council of Rajasthan in 2004 to 2005. Sir, we welcome you on behalf of School of Law, Manipal University, Jaipur, that you have given us your precious time just because of this wonderful event, which is conducting by the students, for the students, and to the students. Thank you so much, sir. I would like to welcome our special guest, who is Justice Mr. G.L. Gupta, sir, former judge, Rajasthan High Court. Sir has also served as a vice chairman of Central Administrative Tribunal. Sir was also president in Illegal Immigrants Appellate Tribunal, Guwahati. Sir was also Lokayukt of Rajasthan. He has also served as a chairman of Rajasthan Police Accountability Committee. We welcome you, sir, and indeed it's a proud privilege for one and all who are here in School of Law, Manipal University, Jaipur. Thank you so much, sir, for coming here. And definitely, and I am very, very sure that today our student would be really benefited with your words of wisdom. Thank you so much for coming. A leader is one who always inspires others to dream more, to learn more, to do more, and to get more. With all these words, School of Law, Manipal University, Jaipur, we are fortunate enough to have our leadership. So I must acknowledge all our leaders, our President, Professor G.K. Prabhu, who is always ready to provide the opportunities for the welfare of the students. I also welcome our Pro-President and Dean Faculty of Arts and Law, Professor N.N. Sharma, sir, whose guidance and support is always there in terms of the welfare of students and the faculty members as well. Thank you so much, sir, for coming here. I must thank all the deans, directors, and head of the departments, faculty members, and students for making this event a great success. Yes, one and only person who is a founder of the entire club association of Manipal University, Jaipur, he is none other than our beloved Professor N.D. Mathur, sir. So I always acknowledge his support and guidance and mentorship to give us such a nice platform to provide the opportunity to the students. So thank you so much, Mathur, sir, always
Thank
being
you.
with us
Thank you.
whenever it is required. Thank you once again. I congratulate all the participants who has taken the participation in this wonderful event. One thing, my dear students, please keep remember always, it doesn't matter whether you are gaining or you are losing. Always remember your participation is very important. Always learn from your mistakes. If there is any mistake, definitely you will learn. So winners and the participants, my best wishes are with you. Thank you so much, Mansi, Ghazal, Aditya, and one and all who are associated with this Lex Logical Club. Thank you so much. Thank you, Mansi. Over to you,
so much,
Mansi.
ma'am. Thank you, ma'am, for your kind words. Now I consider it a matter of great honor to call upon a special guest for the day, Honorable Justice Sandeep Mehta, sir. We welcome you, sir.
Good afternoon. Honorable Justice G.L. Gupta Sahab, Judge Rajasthan High Court, before whom I had the privilege of appearing in a number of cases. I'll share some of my experiences during the course of time. The academic faculty, the learned academic faculty of Manipal University, headed by Dean Mr. N.N. Sharma Sahab, Professor Vijay Lakshmi ji, Mr. Amit Yadav, Associate Professor, Dr. Naresh Mathur Sahab, the members of the Student Council who have actively organized this wonderful event on behalf of the Law Logical Club in these difficult times. Yes, times are indeed difficult. We are hearing day in and day out how the situation is going out of hand. Family members of almost all are afflicted by this pandemic. Despite that, Manipal University and the Law Logical Club, in the able guidance of Mr. Yadav, has taken up this challenge to organize this moot, which has a wonderful idea. I will just share with you that during my practice as a lawyer for more than 25 years, I was all along passionate about going to the trial courts. I was working in the trial courts, right from the courts of the magistrates to the courts of the sessions judges, special courts. And wherever I was engaged, I was eager to go. The reason was that the satisfaction which a lawyer can achieve while conducting a trial is unparalleled. Why I say so? You see, in the appellate courts, be it the High Court or the Supreme Court, mostly, except for the long hearing matters, the cases are matters of moment. The decisions are taken instantaneously at the spot. It may not be satisfying to the lawyer. Naturally, whenever two litigants enter the court, one wins and one loses, except where there is a mediation. Now there is a new concept. But in the trial court, what the lawyer does is he gets a seed which is planted either by the prosecution or by the complainant or by the plaintiff, and he harvests that seed, he nurtures that seed into a full-fledged case with his own labor, intellect, and efforts. Friends, student advocates, I can say, the satisfaction which a lawyer can get while cross-examining a witness and achieving what is desired is unparalleled, which I have felt on a number of times while conducting cross-examination from witnesses. This entire idea, you see, I have participated in a number of moots. A few days ago, I was asked to participate in a valedictory session of a moot organized by Honorable Justice Raka's Trust. Well, organizing a moot to be presented before an appellate forum is an entirely different thing from organizing a moot on a trial. I was going through the brochure, which was forwarded to me by Aditya, and I really am very happy that you've chosen this challenging trial of a murder case involving so many facets. Professor Vijay Lakshmi and Mr. Amit Yadav, I really congratulate you for selecting such a problem so that the students whose ambitions are to work as lawyers in the fields, in the trial courts, even in the High Court, to face these challenges, to prepare a case, how it is to be presented in the trial courts, is an amazing thing. While going through the brochure, I'll have to refer to the brochure on a different system. I have not taken out a printout. So I was just reading the way in which the brochure has been put out in your, the topic has been put out. And I find really meticulous pain has been taken to ensure that every aspect which a lawyer would face in an actual sessions trial is presented, the students are made aware of it, and they are required to address the issues. I find that the memorials, of course, that is a standard thing. I would like to just share that in a criminal trial, there is nothing like a memorial. But yes, when you are doing a moot, the memorials are a part of evaluation process. So yes, they have to be included. anyhow, the parts of the trial, as you started from the page number 21 of the brochure, witnesses briefing by the organizers, mandatory to examine all the witnesses. Now we could have made a twist here. You see, the law is well settled that it is the quality and not the quantity of the witnesses which is relevant. But when you have a very limited number of witnesses to be presented, we can't be selective. Before that, I would like to advise the organizing committee that you could have kept a stage of charge as well. Charge arguments, when a lawyer goes before the trial court, it is a very important stage of the case. You see, the case, the facts which you have presented, they depict an assault by a assembly, unlawful assembly of certain number of individuals leading to a murder. So there could have been a stage of charge where the students could have been asked to make a differentiation that from the set of facts which have been presented, this ex-accused should not be put up for trial and he can be discharged. Anyhow, that can be done in another event which you will be organizing. I'm sure this can be taken care of. But for the present, I would say that the entire concept has really appealed to me. It's the opening statement. We can consider that this aspect which you have dealt with in the time limit, opening statement on the behalf of the prosecution, opening statement on behalf of the defense, this can be treated to be the charge. Then there is a examination in chief by prosecution, cross-examination by defense, examination in chief by defense, cross-examination by prosecution, closing statement by prosecution. I would like to again tell you that when we are trying to train students who will be expert lawyers, and that too in trial, every stage of trial should be referred to or addressed in the brochure, in the presentation which is to be given. From what I see, apart from the aspect of charge, the statement of accused under section 313, that has been missed out. Mr. Yadav can rectify it in future. Gupta Sahab will also agree with me, Honorable Justice Gupta Sahab will agree with me that this is an essential part without which, unless the circumstances which appear in prosecution evidence against an accused are put to him and he is asked to explain the same, those circumstances cannot be considered against the accused when the final judgment is to be passed. It is a mandatory requirement of law section 313 CRPC. So that has been missed out. But yes, they have the effort. Since it is the first effort which has been made, I really say it is remarkable. The marking criterion regarding the articulation, etc., it is also really good. So overall, I would say that it is an amazing effort which has been made by the Manipal University and the law logical club. The concept of such a club and the fact that Mr. Yadav says that you have organized about 60 events in the pandemic year, really hats off to you, sir. Now coming to the issues which the trial advocates face. My advice to the young budding advocates that you still have the time. Some of you are in the 5th year like Mr. Gupta. The entire fulcrum of every law revolves around the Evidence Act. If you concentrate on the Evidence Act and learn the nuances thereof, the entire system, the entire procedure is at your tips. So you must focus while you are still in your student years. Please focus on Evidence Act. Now, why I say that it was my passion to work as a trial lawyer. You see, the intellect of a lawyer is really tested at that stage. The lawyer is examining a witness. A particular question is put. It is a cross-examination which is being undertaken. A particular question is put and the required objective is received. Now the lawyer has to think on his feet. What happens is, it is a general practice of all the lawyers. I never did that. That they prepare a questionnaire in advance. 25, 30, 40, 50 क्वेश्चन बना के ले जाते हैं और ये तो गवाह को पूछने ही पूछ रहे हैं. But it is important to be continuously conscious of what the witness has stated in its chief and what you have achieved. I'll just go back a little while. Now, if we are talking of a trial, the first thing which a lawyer has to be conscious of is conference with the client. You see, when you accept a trial brief, there has to be a clarity in thought from the first day what your defense will be. And the entire case will have to be built upon that. Now, this is supposing the problem which has been now given to the students in this mood. It is regarding murder by the members of an unlawful assembly. Okay. Now you talk to certain ex-advocate, ex-client approaches advocate Mr. Gupta, and he says, "Look here, sir, my name has been falsely taken. मेरा नाम तो झूठा फंसाया गया इसमें. मैं तो जिस दिन घटना हुई उस दिन प्रयाग शहर में था नहीं, मैं तो अहमदाबाद गया हुआ था मेरे काम के सिलसिले में." Now what would be the defense? The defense is alibi. आप जब उस क्लाइंट की डिफेंस करना सोचेंगे तो पहले दिन से क्या सोचेंगे कि इस व्यक्ति की एलिबाई मैं कैसे साबित करूंगा. That is the best defense available to me. Likewise, it could have been the defense that no, as a matter of fact, the entire prosecution case is false. और वास्तव में तो क्लाइंट आपको आके कहता है कि वकील साहब वास्तव में तो ये हुआ कि हम तो वहां पर खड़े हुए चाय पी रहे थे और ये जो मरने वाला है अपने साथियों के साथ आया और हमको हमारे साथ मारपीट की. हमने तो we acted in defense. So the theory which has to be built up is of private defense. Private defense की थ्योरी के लिए आपको day 1 से पूछना पड़ेगा कि क्या आपने कोई FIR करवाई कंप्लेनेंट साइड के अगेंस्ट, क्या आप लोगों के कोई इंजरीज आई जो कि आपने जांच करवाई, whether you got injuries in the incident. If yes, the medical reports have to be procured. So the first thing which a lawyer, while accepting a trial brief, is to have an interview with his client, thrash out the defense theory. The defense theory should be closest to the truth. बहुत ज्यादा बनावटी डिफेंस थ्योरी लेने की कोशिश करोगे तो कभी सक्सीड नहीं होगी. एक इंसिडेंट बताऊंगा, ऑनरेबल जस्टिस जीएल गुप्ता साहब की कोर्ट में हुआ था, जो I consider it to be the highlight of my career. So first thing is you have to be clear in your mind regarding the defense theory. Defense theory जब आपके दिमाग में है, आपका जब क्रॉस एग्जामिनेशन होगा कंप्लेनेंट के विटनेसेस से, द प्रोसिक्यूशन के विटनेसेस से, तो एक प्रिंसिपल है जो कि शायद आप हर लॉ की स्ट्रीम में पढ़ते हैं. नोबडी कैन बी कंडेम्ड अनहर्ड, ऑडी अल्टरम पार्टम. ये प्रिंसिपल एज सच क्रिमिनल प्रोसीजर कोड में कहीं लिखा हुआ नहीं है, बट ये प्रिंसिपल कानून की हर स्ट्रीम में लागू होता है. अब आप पूछेंगे क्यों होता है? जब एविडेंस ऑफ अ विटनेस जब एप्रिशिएट की जाती है तो एक बहुत बड़ा कार्डिनल प्रिंसिपल ये है कि आप अगर किसी विटनेस की क्रेडिबिलिटी को इम्पीच करना चाहते हैं तो आपको जिस थ्योरी से आप इम्पीचमेंट चाहते हैं उसकी क्रेडिबिलिटी खत्म करना चाहते हैं, आपको उसे मौका देना पड़ेगा एक्सप्लेन करने का क्रॉस एग्जामिनेशन में कि भैया देखो आप ये कह रहे हो कि ये आदमी यहाँ पर मौके पर आया और उसने मारपीट करी, बट वास्तव में तो तथ्य ये है, द ट्रूथ इज दैट दिस मैन वाज नॉट हियर. Unless you put this fact to the witness and seek his explanation, you cannot challenge his testimony on that ground. So that is an extension of the principle of audi alterum partem. Now, what I was saying is that आपने एक क्वेश्चनेयर तैयार किया होगा कि गवाह से मुझे इतने 100 सवाल पूछने हैं. अब गवाह ने आपके क्रॉस एग्जामिनेशन में, सपोजिंग वी प्रिज्यूम दैट इस केस के अंदर दोनों पार्टीज के चोटें आई और आपका डिफेंस है, एज अ डिफेंस काउंसिल इट इज ऑफ प्राइवेट डिफेंस. आपके पास एक्यूज की इंजरी रिपोर्ट्स अवेलेबल है. आप उस गवाह को कहते हो देखिए भैया एक्स एक्यूज के इसी घटना के अंदर 10 चोटें आई थी, और गवाह कहता नहीं आई थी. आप उस जगह उस गवाह से इन चोटों के बारे में आगे कोई सवाल नहीं पूछेंगे. आपके 100 सवाल में अगर आपने और 10 सवाल इसके ऊपर लिखे हुए बंद कर दीजिए, कारण आपके पास इंजरी रिपोर्ट अवेलेबल है. आपने गवाह को ये पूछ लिया कि चोटें आई थी इस घटना में, वो मना कर रहा है, दैट मीन्स he is not ready to accept your theory. Your job was to give him a suggestion which you have given. So whatever defense suggestion is, defense theory is, that must be put to the witness. If he says no, then you will have to prove it in your defense evidence. Supposing the witness in this case said, chote aayi to thi sab, then the next question would arise. आप ये कहेंगे उसको, देखिए आप मुल्जिम पक्ष तो वास्तव में वहां पर सड़क के किनारे किसी खोमची के ऊपर अपना चाट पकौड़ी खा रहा था, आप लोगों की दुश्मनी थी इसलिए आपने जाकर अटैक किया, इसलिए चोटें आई. So that is the second part of your defense theory, that we were just standing innocently and the aggressive party was the complainant party. So the theory which you have thought out in defense, which you have chalked out in defense, must be put to the witnesses. It may be a case, supposing it is not a case of the complainant party being an aggressor, दोनों parties वहां पर खड़ी थी और अचानक से झगड़ा हो गया. It is a case of free fight. Then what you will have to do is, आपको free fight के केस में देखिए एक बहुत सिंपल प्रिंसिपल है, सेटल प्रिंसिपल है. फ्री फाइट के केस में वाइकेरियस लाइबिलिटी इस केस में कौन सी हुई? 149 आईपीसी. Vicarious liability would not operate. Then you will have to distinguish what part has been assigned to which accused. The person, every accused would be responsible for his own act. So you have to proceed that way. The trial advocacy brings out the best in an advocate for the reason that he has to be conscious, aware of the procedure. Every procedural aspect has a very important bearing on the trial. I'll share an example with you. About a year back, we were hearing a murder reference. Murder reference meaning thereby सेशंस कोर्ट ने कुछ मुल्जिमान को ट्रायल के बाद में सेक्शन 302 आईपीसी में कन्विक्ट करके डेथ सेंटेंस अवार्ड किया और उसके कंफर्मेशन के लिए हाईकोर्ट में वो भेजा गया. तो जब हम सुन रहे थे तो डिफेंस लॉयर ने एक आर्ग्यूमेंट किया कि साहब जब ये 4 आई विटनेसेस के बयान हुए, हमारे मुल्जिम जेल में थे और उनको जेल से कोर्ट में नहीं बुलाया गया. Now the trial lawyer was very sharp. He had filed an application in the trial court कि साहब मेरे मुल्जिम को कोर्ट में बुलाया जाए, गवाह के बयान उसकी प्रेजेंस में कराया जाए. It is mandatory to record the evidence of witnesses in presence of the accused. जहां पर accused custody में है, the custody is of the court, so the court has to call the accused in the court from the prison. Where the accused is on bail, the duty is of the defense to keep the accused present in the court when the evidence is recorded. पर ट्रायल कोर्ट ने उस केस के अंदर जो विटनेसेस के बयान लिए उस समय they did not summon the accused from the prison. The reason cited was prison guard available नहीं है और गवाहों के बयान करवा दिए. Now what happens is the trial is vitiated. The prosecutor was to fault. ये गलती किसकी थी? Prosecutor was not aware of the actual legal situation, and the same mistake was committed by the court. It was a case involving 4 murders by gunshots. And the High Court had to remand the case for fresh trial. You see, so there are serious consequences of not being aware of the procedural law. Trial के lawyer का सबसे बड़ा जो advantage है वो ये है that you are faced with every aspect of procedure which applies to the case. और ये फर्क है हाई कोर्ट और ट्रायल कोर्ट के लॉयर्स में. हाई कोर्ट के लॉयर को शायद ये जानकारी नहीं होगी. मैंने आपको रेफर किया था सेक्शन 313 CRPC. Now cases come up before the High Court. The post-mortem report, which is the most important evidence, medical evidence regarding proof of the injuries caused to the deceased. That question is not put to the accused in 313 CRPC. The case has to be sent back to that stage. That because the circumstance, again audi alteram partem, circumstance was not put to the accused, he was not given an opportunity of explaining, so that circumstance cannot be used against him. No one can be condemned unheard. So my dear friends, the trial advocacy is the place where the art of advocacy is tested to the extreme. The intelligence of the lawyers is brought out. And the one who is abreast of the procedure, abreast of the lawyer, he stands in good stead. अब मैं आपको बता रहा था कि lawyers को while working in the courts they have to be confident. They have to be confident when they will be confident, when they are having a mastery over the facts of the case. देखिए judgments, so far as my thinking goes, that no two criminal cases are similar on facts. So the judgments are secondary. In a criminal case, the judgments have to be given a backseat. It is the CRPC, the Evidence Act, and the IPC, or the procedural law, whichever the law applies to the case, that is a complete exhaustive code which is sufficient for you to deal with the case, and the judgments may only be referred for just giving a support to your argument. But basically, you have to proceed on facts. If you are confident on facts, if you have chalked out a good defense theory while interviewing with your client, and if that defense theory has been brought out in the evidence of witnesses, then my dear friends, you will definitely succeed. You will be confident. Now on confidence, I come to that incident which I was referring to, which happened to me while I was arguing a bail application before Honorable Justice G.L. Gupta Sahab. The year was 2006. The case involved murder of a man, and he was given 121 injuries. Honorable Justice Gupta Sahab had a typical trait. He would try to dislodge the advocate to find out whether he is confident enough, whether he is prepared enough. So he would say, कि अगर तुम बहस करोगे मैं खारिज कर दूंगा reasons लिखा कर. So I was arguing the matter. I was very confident. I had prepared the brief. The case was that deceased, he had entered into the house of the complainant party, and he was trying to take liberties with the complainant's daughter, with the daughter of the accused. So the people woke up. The child cried out. People woke up, and then the man was thrashed badly. You see, out of the 121 injuries, I distinctly remember the number of injuries now, even now. All were simple in nature. So right from the word go, when I received the brief, my mind was very clear that it is a clear case of private defense. And you see, either in a case of private defense or in a case of free fight, vicarious liability does not apply. The number of accused, all the male family members of the accused were charge sheeted in this case, and their bail application had been rejected by the Sessions Court. So my Lord Honorable Justice Gupta Sahab, in his inimitable style, said, I'll reject your bail application. There are too many injuries caused to the deceased. So what I said was, sir, that is your prerogative. My right is to argue the case and to present my case on behalf of the clients. Then I argued the matter. I distinctly remember that the arguments on bail application took place for almost 1 hour. And I argued on two aspects. Firstly, that why the accused was in the house, why the deceased was in the house of the complainant in the dead of the night. So he was a trespasser. Secondly, that the evidence of the child is there that the deceased was trying to molest her. And thirdly, that there are 4 accused. There is no one from the prosecution who says that which particular injury was caused by which particular accused. So 34 does not apply, 149 does not apply. Individually taken, all the injuries are simple in nature, so the case would not travel to beyond section 323 IPC. And my Lord's Honorable Justice G.L. Gupta Sahab, after hearing the arguments, was graceful enough to say, yes, you have made out a case and I'll grant bail to your client. So that is how you have to prepare the case. Dear friends, I tell you, that is the highlight of my career. I cite this incident many a times when I am asked to address budding advocates. These are some of the nuances which a trial court lawyer or even a budding student must learn, must try to inculcate in his system if he wants to become a successful lawyer. You see, one more thing, that result is immaterial. You have to give out your best and thereafter leave the decision in the hands of the court. If you don't succeed at that stage, the appellate forum is there. But if your preparation of the case, what plant you have planted, the seed which you have planted, you nurtured it well, you made it grow well, then I'm sure at one particular point of time, be it in the original trial, be it in the appellate forum, you will definitely succeed. I'm thankful to the Manipal Law University, the Law Logical Club, Honorable Justice G.L. Gupta Sahab, who had first of all called me up to say that I have to address the students, and Mr. Aditya Gupta for having given me this opportunity to be with dear students and to share some of my experiences with them. This is my second instance of addressing the students of Manipal Law University, and I will always look forward to future of such opportunities in future. Thank you. Namaskar. Jai Hind.
Thank you very much, Chief Guest, sir. I'm sure your kind words will motivate our students to carry out immense hard work. Now, I consider it a matter of great honor to call upon our special guest for the day, Honorable Justice G.L. Gupta, sir. Welcome, sir. We are delighted to have you with us today.
Honorable Mr. Justice Mehta Sahab, Madam Professor Vijay Lakshmi ji, Amit ji Yadav, Naresh ji Mahathur, students, Aditya Gupta, I am really overwhelmed when I received the notes from the mouth of Honorable Justice Mehta ji. He was good enough to appear in my court for a number of cases. I may say, if not, probably hundreds of cases he must have appeared, no doubt about it. And he was always well prepared. He was always well prepared on facts and as well on law. And that is why he could get the judgments. This was nothing, you see. So what I want to stress is that it is the advocate, it is his skill, his labor, his study, which wins the case. It is nothing. Law is there. Every type of rulings will be there. You will see. But it is the skill of the advocate, how it is presented, in what case a particular ruling is produced. These are the things. These are the actually tricks to win the cases. Anyway, I proceed. Honorable Justice Mehta Sahab has stated everything almost about the criminal law. Now, what I want to propose is that the new advocates should not, from the very beginning, go to the criminal courts. But which I think, if the new advocates start appearing in the civil courts first, then they will learn definitely better law. The complications in the civil law are great. Therefore, he will study everything as to limitation problem, notice problem, so many problems. So what I suggest is that if new advocates appear in the courts, first, for some time, he must definitely take the help of the advocate practicing in the civil side. Then, of course, he has a choice to select the criminal side, civil side, taxation side, so many sides now these days, labor side, arbitration matters, service matters, number of cases, number of types of the cases. But whatever may be, whatever subject he adopts, whatever subject he chooses, he has to study very well. Thorough study is required. It is not that you have just heard the statement given by the client who approached you. It is required that everything he says should be noted down, and then the advocate should study how this can be proceeded, case can be proceeded, and what relief can be got. For this, the requirement is deep study of the facts. Then, if required, a notice is to be sent. That means legal study is required. That if notice is required, it has to be sent. Then the proper drafting of the case, of course, then it will have to be kept in mind that whether the matter is in limitation, whether this court has got the jurisdiction that is territorial jurisdiction, or whether this court can hear this matter that is pecuniary matter. Then whether this matrimonial case can be heard by this court, then again a jurisdiction, special jurisdiction given to certain courts. So this is what required by the young advocates should carefully study the case, and then it should be decided by him in which court the case can be filed. And there is a drafting. At the time of drafting of a civil case, very care should be taken of all the provisions of law and the facts of the case and court fees, of course. So so many things, after settling these points, one has to approach the court of competent jurisdiction. So the new advocate should always take pains, much labor. I say that this labor for 5 years, which is taken by the new advocates, will help him a lot, and he will be in the leading position at one time. What we observe is that new advocates, when see that the senior advocates are earning lakhs of rupees, so then he starts getting efforts to get lakhs of rupees. Then wrong practices are adopted. That is wrong. It is not only offense, but it is definitely against the illegal ethics. So one should be very careful. So also the new judges, when they come and sit in the court, they should study the matter very well. What I want to stress is that in the legal service, in the legal profession, it may be of the advocate or it may be of the judge. Lot of labor is required. One should not take it easily, otherwise he will definitely be failure. So this is one thing which I wanted to state the new advocates. The next thing which I say is that the advocate should never be arrogant to his client or to the witnesses or towards the court. That is wrong. He earns from the client. If he makes indecent statements to him, definitely the client will be annoyed and he will go and have other advocate. So the advocate has to be in good humor as regards his client is concerned, and in the court, of course, in a manner, the requirement is there. That is, he should be respectful to the court. He should hear what the court says. He should respect the court, even if the order is judgment against him. Sometimes advocates start quarreling not only with the brother advocates, also with the court. That is wrong. These things don't pay. Assertion does not mean that you assert everywhere. This is not the place. Everything is done as per the provisions of law. Therefore, one should be very careful in dealing with the court, particularly the new advocates. I'm very happy that the discussions have been held on the subject and the debate has been held. I don't know whether the result has been announced or not, or it will be now announced, whatever may be. I congratulate all the debate persons who have taken part in the debate competition, and also the administration who have done so much pains in organizing these things. As a matter of fact, I am now out of touch. So I will not be able to say so many things which come day to day in the court proceedings. But sometimes some interesting things happen in the court. As I will give you one or two examples. What happens what happened once that a client approached some advocate. So he demanded some, say, ₹100. Then he was not satisfied with the stocks. So he approached some next advocate. He demanded ₹500. The other third person demanded ₹1,000. It was old days time. He thought, how is it possible that rates are different? So then he went to the person who demanded 1,000 and told him, sir, some persons are demanding ₹100 and all that. Well, whether they are advocates? Well, yes. Well, what did you see there? Well, sir, books were there. Then the advocate said, oh, similar type books, bound red books and all that. Well, yes, sir. Oh, no, he is not seeing the books. They are for sale. The client was, no, he says, he is doing that work. So he does not know nothing and he could get some. So these are such things. In a similar way, once what happened, advocate just pointing out the other side advocate who was short-statured. उन्होंने कहा, a short-statured person, I can keep you in my pocket. What are you arguing? Then he said, then you will be having more knowledge in your pocket than your brain. So these are the such things happen in court, but things should be taken lightly. Nobody should feel such things. These things normally happen. So we used to hear so many kissas of this type. They are good points. I will tell something about the civil case. I know that you will learn how to file the case, in which court you will do. Then important stage in the civil case is framing of the issues. This is most important stage in the civil cases. It is the job of the judge, presiding officer, but there is a big but. What says? It says that advocates should be vigilant whether the burden of that particular issue has been placed on the right party or not. If it is not, then you should argue that this has to be proved by the other side, not by me, because there is admission on this fact. Therefore, young advocates should make study very well, and at the time of the framing of the issues, he should be vigilant. So also at the time of cross-examination, the new advocate should be very, very, very active. What happens sometimes the other side asks such question which is not admissible into evidence, and reply comes on the record. Because the judge also forgot to understand that point. That is wrong. So inadmissible evidence sometimes comes because of the fault of the advocate. So what I say is that the advocate should be vigilant. That means he should have very, very good study of Evidence Act. As my Lord Justice Mehta stated, the advocate has to be perfect in Evidence Act. This is the main act, as a matter of fact. If he is perfect, if he is definitely well read, he has well read the Evidence Act, then there will be no problem, and the case can be easily won if it is correct, if it is on right track. I will advise new advocates to be well dressed in the court, well mannered, and also well mannered towards the client. The misbehavior does not pay. I am thankful to my Lord Justice Mehta Sahab, who has accepted the invitation sent by Aditya Gupta on behalf of the Manipal University. And also, I am thankful to all of you that giving me this opportunity to meet you. I actually met, as a matter of fact, I have had this opportunity after so many years. Anyway, this opportunity is good. Now, I congratulate the persons who have participated in the debate competition and who then who will win, though I don't know what will happen, and but the defeated party should not feel anything. It is the way of, as a matter of fact, understanding the things. It is the way of showing the things. So this is nothing, and that party should make more efforts after day after day. Okay. Good afternoon to everyone. Thanks. Particularly, I'm thankful again to Justice Mehta ji.
Thank you very much for your informative words, sir. Good things come to people who wait, but better things come to those who go out and get them. With this being said, I would like to call upon our director, Professor Dr. Vijayalakshmi Sharma ma'am, to announce the results. Ma'am.
Thank you so much, Mansi.
Welcome.
Thank you, Gupta sir. Thank you, Mehta sir, for your words of wisdom. Indeed, our students would be benefited with your all interaction. Thank you so much once again. Mansi, you had given me a very difficult task, actually. For all the participants, I must say, without your involvement, you can't succeed. This is very true. But with your involvement, you can't fail. Either you will gain or you will learn. So don't think negatively that you can't get the position in this competition. So I must congratulate, first of all, to all the participants who has taken the participation in this event. Now, formally, as I had been given this task to announce the results, therefore, best speaker of this event is code number 121, speaker number 2, Ayushi Sharma, Delhi Metropolitan Education. Miss Ayushi, you won this Best Speaker Award with the amount of 3,000 rupees cash prize. Congratulations, beta. God bless you. second award is for best memorial. Team code number is 107, University of Petroleum and Energy Studies. Congratulations. Again, you win this award with the cash prize 3,000 rupees. Congratulations, dear team. Now the runner-up. Runner-up is team code 114, Symbiosis Law College, Pune. Congratulations, my dear team. If you are here, please turn on your cameras, please. And you have win the cash prize 4,500. Congratulations, team members. Yes, now
Thank
the
you so much,
time
ma'am.
is, God bless you, dear. Now the time is to announce the winner of this competition. As we all know, winners are none other than New Law College, Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan. Bharatiya Vidya Pune. Congratulations, my dear team, and you have win 5,500 cash prize. God
Thank
bless
you so much,
Thank you so much,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Big round of applause. Congratulations. Congratulations. So once again,
My blessings to the winners and
Yes, sir.
best wishes to all the participants.
Yes,
Thank you so much, sir.
God bless all. God bless all.
thank you.
Congrats to all the participants.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you so much. And again, congratulations to one and all participants, organizing team, Mr. Amit Yadav, Aditya, Ghazal, Mansi, Ayush, Nikita, one and all organizing team members. Thank you so much. And thank you so much, Mehta sir, Gupta sir, for your guidance. And definitely in future, we will look forward for your cooperation and your blessings as well. Thank you so much, sir, for being with us. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, ma'am. And congratulations
Thank
to
you
all the
very much,
winners.
ma'am.
Now I would like to call upon Aditya Gupta, the student convener of the first Manipal National Trial Advocacy Competition, to present the vote of thanks to our guests.
With this, we move towards the end of this valedictory session of Lexological Clubs, Manipal University, Jaipur. I extend a hearty vote of thanks to our guests, Honorable Justice Sandeep Mehta sir and Honorable Justice G.L. Gupta sir, who has spared time from their busy schedule to grace us with their presence. Today, we had an opportunity to hear their views, and I am positive that this will surely encourage us in our future endeavors. I hope the word of wisdom imparted by our guests will prove to be informative, insightful for all our attendees. I would also like to thank G.K. Prabhu sir, N.D. Mathur sir, Dean sir, our director Vijay Lakshmi ma'am, and our faculty coordinator Amit Yadav sir for supporting and helping us throughout this event and inspiring us every day of our lives. Also, a big thank you to all participants and colleagues for paying their valuable attention and not forgetting our team, without whom this event wouldn't have been possible. Thank you. Have a nice day. Stay safe and stay healthy. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Mathur
sir.
sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you, Aditya, Mansi, and entire
Thank
team.
you, sir.
Ghazal,
Thank you, ma'am.
ma'am, thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Amit sir. Thank you. Thank you, one
All
and
guys,
all
you did wonderful job.
students.
And the
And
congratulations,
congratulations,
team.
winner team.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much,
Winners
God
and
bless.
ma'am.
participants both.
Congratulations, team 120.
God bless you all. God
Thank
bless
you so much, ma'am. Thank you.